Whoo!
Do we have a skit for this?
No.
No book skit.
You're supposed to just win this over with your personality. Isn't that how this works?
Hello, and welcome to the CodeX Cantina. I will be your co-pilot, Crypto.
You were one-upping me on the sultriness. Hang on, let me get really close to the mic. Hey, this is Una here.
No, do you have a pipe? You need a pipe.
Okay, guys, welcome to the CodeX Cantina. I am Una, and he is Crypto, as we've said. We've never done the BookTube tag. If you didn't know, Crypto and I, we've been friends for a long, long time, and we've actually been doing book chats for many, many, many years. Only very recently, did we start this BookTube thing, and we've been... that perfectionist side of thing, we've been talking about doing this BookTube newbie tag for so long, and only we're just now finally getting it too. So thank you for tuning in to check us out.
Yeah, we have been talking about books for a long time, and we decided, hey, let's just make videos. And we probably didn't start in the right spot, but I think that has given us a lot of character for our channel. So thank you.
We got to figure out how this BookTube thing works. And I guess you do these tags, right, where people put out these questions, and it's a good way to kind of get some consensus and share information about you, your channel, stuff like that. So question 1, why did you start this channel? So Crypto kind of started that. We've been doing this for years, where we read a book together, and we break it down and discuss what did it mean to us, what do we think some of the underlining meanings were. Only after did our, some other people started joining us. They're like, hey, you guys should record a video on this and share this, because it was, particularly a Stephen King book that we broke down. They said, we haven't found analysis like this out there, and I think it would be really beneficial for people to check it out that want to go a step deeper. So we're like, oh, all right, I guess we could do that. So awkwardly, that's the really inspirational story of how we started.
Yeah, and it's kind of been our thing, is we always have to mention Stephen King at least once in a video, because he started all this, so he's our inspiration.
He's our book father, if you will.
I'm waiting for some troll in the comments to always be like, hey, you guys always mention Stephen King. It's so annoying. Not everything revolves around Stephen King.
Or we're gonna get that comment, you guys go too deep into this, where I think you need to know. Before, like I said, before we even did this channel, we did the Harry Potter series, and for Goblet of Fire, I had a 40-page written breakdown summary of the book. It never went anywhere. I did this naturally. This is how I process and enjoy books. All right, question 2. What are some things you hope to bring to BookTube? So if we haven't made it clear already, we're the guys that do a ton of work into going deeper in on a book and trying to bring out what the meanings were, or what maybe the author was intending behind it.
Yeah, that's one of my main things, is I love not only discussing, but I think that something we can bring is an analytical view that is unique to our backgrounds, you being a philosophy literature guy, and me being the historian nerdy guy. And I think that makes us very unique in some of our viewpoints, where we can talk about economics and history and religion and philosophy and all of those things that might have a unique perspective to the books, and we might maybe go too deep, and we may be wrong, and we're okay with that. But I think that we're getting discussion going, and that again is brings us back to what we hope to bring to BookTube.
Dude, you just put yourself in a box. You always told me never to put you in a box. Why can you put yourself in a box and I can't put you in a box?
Do as I say, not as I do.
As he said, I do have a background in understanding and literary criticism, but that doesn't mean we have to do that on this channel. I think this is all about fun for us at the end of the day, and if you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? And Crypto and I have a blast doing it. Why don't you join us on that?
Yeah, I think that we're bringing something that is us, and really it is for us in the end. And if you enjoy that, then we've brought something new. And if we can inspire one person to read one book that can make a difference in their life, then I think it was all worth it.
Oh, ooh, that was deep, dude. All right, I'm gonna throw this question at you.
Okay.
What are you most excited for this channel?
I'm excited to argue. I love arguing. I don't mind being wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong. Probably the only reason my wife loves me. But I like going on new adventures. I love learning. I love learning new things. I love to argue about new things, and I like to see from a different person's perspective, because I think it makes me grow as a person. And I think having a platform to be able to discuss things in a deeper meaning, where so much of our world today is so shallow, is important to me. And you and I do it on a regular basis, but if we can bring more people into that, maybe we can make change, and we can bring back the idea of reading is cool, and you should be reading, and you should be, gaining more knowledge and learning about other cultures and religions and people, and it makes you a better person overall. And I think that's what I'm most excited for, is to have the opportunity to do that to not just my classroom of a few hundred students, but potentially millions of people.
All right, well, let me, I feel like you just talked a lot about societal impact, right? Let's get back to you specifically. The next question is, why do you love reading? Like, why does the man, the myth, the legend, Crypto like to read?
I think it's escapism for me.
Okay.
I've always deep down thought that, probably that narcissistic view a lot of us have as a little kid, I never got past of wanting to be either the hero or the villain. And I get to be that in these stories. And it's a lot of fun for me to go in and experience something that I know I'll never get to do. I'll never get to be a gunslinger. I'll never get to be a Jedi. I'll never get to experience these things, but I can have a glimpse into that in books. And I think they're the greatest adventure that you can ever have. And I think they're the best medium that humans have ever created, or probably will ever create.
I think you're more on the escapism side, which I have as well. And I tend to be more on the literary fiction side, where I really like to expand and broaden what many authors would call the human experience, my knowledge and awareness of the human experience. I think books do more than just pass time for people. I think giving yourself a window into someone like yourself, or even someone not like yourself, to understand more about what they went through. Think about slavery during the Civil War and what literature was able to do to help people understand what it meant to be a slave. Books can be a big deal. And I'm looking, when I read a book, that's what I want. I want that eye-opening experience to be able to talk about how it impacted me and allowed me to change my life. And we've talked about this. There are books that have changed me for how I live my life, and that's what I'm looking for.
And I think that, add on one last real quick, is it's changed us as a species as well. We, as far as we know, we're the only species that has a sophisticated written language that we're able to convey our thoughts, and that's important because that speaks to our consciousness, which we don't know and understand scientifically or maybe spiritually. And I think the only way that you can see that expressed really is through certain artistic mediums, and books, I think, is one of the best way to do that. Obviously music and plays and movies and comics and stuff are also good mediums to this, but I think books really they give you more of what we are, who we are, and what matters to us.
Next question. What book got you into reading? Let me go first.
Go first.
I remember mine. I can't remember the title, but I remember the experience. It was like a 6-book robot series where it wasn't Isaac Asimov, but it was like directly ripped off of Isaac Asimov, where some guy had to like go collect these robots, and the robots couldn't hurt humans. It was the Asimov laws, if you will. And I remember one of the books, they went back into time, and there's dinosaurs, and I was totally into dinosaurs and robots. So that's what got me into reading.
That's awesome. I love it. I don't know if it was a specific book. I started reading very young, and of course little kids' books, but I think the book that really got me into reading and having an adventure was Hatchet. We had to do a diorama in 4th or 5th grade, and I thought, I need a book that is like an adventure about a young boy, and I don't know why that popped in my head when I was a little kid, but it did. And my teacher suggested I read Hatchet, about this kid that has to survive with just a hatchet out in the wilderness, and I could make a good diorama on it. And that got me hooked into reading, because I went through this adventure with this little boy, and it could have been me. And I thought that was pretty amazing. And then from there, I got into sci-fi and fantasy, and started reading Star Wars books, and my first real big book that made me feel was Roots. I read that as a 7th grader, and I cried and I laughed, and I was angry and I was happy, and I experienced all these human emotions in one book, and that just got me obsessed with reading, and I read all the time now.
What a bunch of dudes starting reading about robots, hatchets, and dinosaurs. All right, next question. What's on your TBR? How much time you got?
How many years do you have scheduled? If you don't know,
I've got
Uno is a scheduler.
I've got a 3-year plan. I need schedules.
Let's make it a 5-year plan.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. 3 is palpable.
3 years.
And that includes, like, in May of next year, I have a Stephen King, like his short story books that's coming out. I've got that plan. Like, all right, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Move on. Next question.
Yeah. Next question. Too awkward. All right. Where do you go to discuss books with other people? Let me throw this one to you.
I think obviously I come to the channel and we read the comments and discuss there. We have our own private book chat on Discord, and I try to talk with the teachers at school, but ironically enough, most of them don't read because they're too busy grading papers and doing stuff with textbooks and stuff. I'm like, you just don't read a book for fun or pleasure or anything? And it blows my mind, and it really breaks my heart a little bit that I'm one of the only people in my department that's an avid reader, because I go to them all the time and I'm just like, hey, I'm reading this really good book and it's blah blah blah, and have you read Vonnegut, or have you read Ray Bradbury and stuff? And some of these people are very nerdy like me, and they're like, no. I was like, I don't know. So I go online, and I guess think that's where a lot of us go nowadays, because so few people actually read.
It's like the quickest way to get to that. I mean, that's how you and I started many, many, many years ago, was we were both playing a Star Wars mobile video game, and we're like, dude, did you read the Star Wars book? Like, heads blow up real big, and things are really cool and awesome in it. Like, and then we just started talking, and we'd bring up points, and it's just like, what? Wait, you really like reading too? Like, not just for like fun, like you like digging into things, and that's kind of how this all started. So if you have like a passion, like if you're into knitting, you can ask your knitting friends, like, hey, you got any good knitting books? Like,
knitting books. I don't know if we'll cover that on the channel.
No, that's not us. No, well, unless there's robots knitting with dinosaurs as the bad guy, then. Or maybe they're knitting like little mittens for the dinosaurs. Then I would read it. All right. Next question. What challenges of starting a BookTube channel are hardest to overcome? I got to kick that one to you.
Timing. Like a perfect joke. Yeah, that's making fun of ourselves a little bit there. Sometimes Una's there trying to edit the video down to 40 minutes. Believe it or not, guys, he's editing it down to 40 minutes.
They don't believe it. I'll tell you that right now. But I want to make sure that we create a unique voice that's authentic to us as we discuss these books too.
All right. That's good. I like that.
Was that too deep?
No.
Okay, let's bring it back. I also hope that I drink a lot of beer while filming.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
We've got one more question left.
One more. Are you want to read this question? I've read all the questions.
No, I think
so you can see who's the glory hog as I read all these questions.
I'm the sidekick. That's okay.
Oh, come on. You're the pretty one. Don't play down on that.
Yeah, you're the smart one. I'm the pretty one.
All right. What would you ask other booktubers?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Put me on the spot here. You go first.
All right. It's also on the spot for me because I thought we'd cut out more than this than we had, but just having 2 answers per one can be a little bit longer. I honestly don't know how to get... Like, face-to-face, I can get a conversation started. I don't have any problem talking about a book. I don't have any problem discussing the meanings behind it. Some people are really into it. Some people are not. I don't know how to... It's different online because, like, I'll put... Like, so far, we've been doing this for, what, like a couple weeks now? Like, you put a video out, and you're like, I want to engage in that conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to give us feedback and talk about things, and I want to have them give us their theories and us provide feedback of, like, oh, hey, that's really cool. You know, like what are your thoughts about comparing that to this? And it seems like the comment section isn't the best part of BookTube. And I also don't know how the conversation is just different on BookTube. So I guess my question to you would be, other people who are passionate and interested about actually breaking down a book and discussing it in detail, how do you go about that on BookTube besides it just being a one-way voice? Like, we don't want to just be a one-way street. We'd like it to be a conversation and a channel where multiple people are engaging and talking with us at the same time.
I would ask other booktubers, how do you get books? Because this is becoming a very expensive hobby.
Well, to that point, a lot of the books we've selected have been very library friendly.
Yes, very online friendly, finding websites that have them posted, finding audio versions.
And all of the short stories I've had, for most of them, I think a free link for anyone who wants to read along too. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we're trying to work on the consumerism and cost aspects of things too, because we do read a lot.
Yeah, it can become spendy buying all these novels and short stories and books and audios and everything.
Yeah. I guess that'd be a good question. We leverage Libby, and we leverage our libraries, physical checkouts. Let us know how you guys keep the cost down. What do you do to help feed the need for books, but as well as make sure that you're not getting that wallet that is always hungry, I guess. All right, guys, appreciate you checking it out. If you leave comments down below, we will try to comment and reply back to you. If you do subscribe, we try to subscribe to other people who are talking about books, because that's the exact game that we're in, is trying to talk to other people about books. So with that, guys, we push out videos 2 to 3 times a week. Every Monday and Thursday, we promise, and then we have generally gotten a third video out a week because crypto's kind of like so I have the 3-year plan, and crypto's like hey man, can we jam this in like next week? Like, and it's like, oh my gosh.
I gave you 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was miracle. So that was good planning on that time. Yeah. So, all right, guys, thank you for checking it out. Please subscribe and comment down below. We look forward to continuing the conversation and talking about books.
Peace out.